Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the College Football Tailgate. As always, it's me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only, the incomparable Uncle Rio. What's up, Erik?
Nothing, man. Nothing, man. Big, huge, loaded day. Loaded day. I'm excited. I've been up since 3, just pumped for the day.
I went to bed at around 3, so that kind of works out the same way. We're going chaseless today. Chase has very important pressing matters to take care of, but it's a great day of college football. We got some great picks lined up for you. Erik, anything you want to say before we just get into it?
Love the slate. I got some dirty, filthy-ass spots circled. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's start off with the big one today. Penn State at Ohio State. Ohio State laying 4.5 at home. Over under set at 45.5, plus 162 on the money line for the Nittany Lions. Erik, did you take anything in this game?
I took this off of openers. I actually got Penn State at plus 5.5 and plus 170. I'll say it. I haven't been impressed with McCord. Granted, he drove them down for the win versus Notre Dame, but in my eyes, Notre Dame is one of the worst coach teams in college football. There, I said it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean. That's just the way I feel. We really don't know what Penn State's offense is. They really haven't been tested. And to me, this kind of has the aura of when Missouri played Kansas State. They went in very vanilla, then they opened stuff up, starting pushing it ball down the field a little bit more. And I kind of feel that's what Penn State's going to do. I kind of feel they've kept the offense sheltered up. To me, this game comes down to the trenches. I think Penn State's offensive line has a huge advantage against Ohio State's defensive line. I think Penn State's going to be able to run the ball with Singleton. This is going to open stuff up for their quarterback. Also, I like Penn State's defensive line to get home against McCord. Ohio State, their playmakers are going to be playing their wide receiver and their running back, but they're not 100%. They're a little bit banged up. Also, I'm going to call him James, not Terry this week, but James has covered his last 3 games.
He's been listening to you, dude.
To Columbus. So yeah, give me Penn State here plus the points.
Also, just based off of my gut, like I saw what Notre Dame's defense was able to do to Ohio State and kind of limit them. I don't understand on any planet why Penn State shouldn't be able to do the same.
I agree 100%, my friend.
Let's make some money. 69 FML. We are betting Penn State, baby.
I mean, that pretty much sums it up because, you remember that game? Like, you and I did this last year, and they went to Michigan, and they played that game, and it looked like they hadn't practiced all week.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, my God. Just a brutal fucking game, and here we are now, Jim.
It's going to be gross, Erik. I'm going to call that. No, it's not a gross one. I think Penn State's a good pick. I almost thought about going under 45.5. I could very easily see this being a defensive match between these two teams.
A defensive battle, if you will, my friend.
Oh, yes. Up next, Boston College, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech minus 5.5 at home, over under 57, plus 200 on the money line for BC. No.
I'm going to say this. People ask me all the time who I want as Michigan State's coach. I want this
OC from Georgia Tech, right?
Yeah, that's who I want. That's who I want.
That's your guy?
That's my guy. Is it going to happen? No.
You're going to get Pat Narduzzi, and you're going to like it.
We are going to get fucking Pat Narduzzi, and I'm going to hate my life.
Baylor traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati minus 3.5 at home. Over under 50.5, plus 133 on the money line for the Baylor Bears.
So I'm going to say this. I did not bet the game, but I am in this contest where for the weekend we have to do 3 spreads in college football and NFL combined, 1 player prop in college football or NFL, 1 total in NFL or college. In the contest, I did do under 50.5.
I thought about it, dude. Both these offenses aren't great.
See, Jim, you're so polite, dude. Just say they fucking suck.
Yeah, they fucking suck. Especially Baylor. I'm so surprised with how bad Baylor has been this year.
Yeah, Baylor's been awful this year. I mean, that game against UCF was fun, was entertaining, but let's face facts. They've been a total letdown this year. You and I were both kind of on it. We got called out during our Big 12 preview saying we didn't know shit. It's kind of funny how that guy's kind of disappeared in our lives after he said we didn't know shit. After he said that Baylor was going to struggle this year, but that's a different point. Yeah, I think this game's going to be an ugly game. I'm not a fan of Jones, the quarterback for Cincinnati. I think both these offenses are going to struggle. I think the defenses are a little bit of ahead. If I had to bet, I'd bet the under.
Are these the two worst teams in the Big 12?
Houston.
That's right, Houston. Forgot about Houston. Rutgers at Indiana. Our Rutgers, who finally dropped one against the spread last week. They are -6 on the road, over under 39.5, plus 180 on the money line for the Hoosiers.
Call me crazy, but if there's going to be a game that Indiana gets it done, I think it's this game.
All the pressure's on Rutgers. They basically need to win this game to make a bowl.
Call me crazy.
And I know how much you love fading teams in that situation.
Call me crazy.
I'm not betting it.
Jimbo, call me crazy.
I'm not betting it. Air Force at Navy. Air Force is -10 on the road, over under 33.5, plus 295 on the money line. Erik, tell me you got something in this game.
I took Navy. I got them at plus 10.5. Dogs in these service academy matchups are 62% against the number. Home dogs in these matchups are 67% against the number. These new clock rules are going to bleed the clock. There's going to be, what is there? 4 possessions per half? If that. There could be, each team could only get 6 possessions in this game. This is way too big of a number. Obviously, this is Air Force's first game since 2010 when they've been ranked, which blows my mind.
That actually does, because they've been good for the last few years.
Yeah, they finished last year or the year before ranked, but they didn't have a game. So this is their first game ranked. So obviously you have that angle. Another thing, early kick. This is a 12 o'clock kick, which is a 10 a.m. click in Air Force time. Navy's looked better each week. Air Force, look, the game was tied against Wyoming. Wyoming had every opportunity to win that game. You take Wyoming off their schedule, who have they really played? I'll take Navy here plus the 10.5.
Also, isn't Air Force, they're bringing in a new quarterback still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get it was limited time against Wyoming, but he did not look great running that offense.
No.
I'm also on Navy here, and you know what? I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under 33.5. I got it at 34. Give me Air Force Navy under. Just like Erik said, unders in Service Academy games are hitting at 80%. I don't know how much longer that's going to be. I don't know how much the new clock rules are going to affect that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to get to the point, like, kind of, I think Army-Navy went over last year just because it's gotten to the point where it's gone down so much.
Well, it was what? It was so low last year.
Was it? Yeah, it was like 30.
Up next, Western Michigan, Ohio. The Ohio Bobcats are -16.5 at home, over under 52.5, plus 545 on the money line for Western Michigan.
Nothing.
No, thank you. I'm getting ready. In the next couple weeks, I'm going to be betting some midweek action. I'll tell you that. Let's Make Some Money is asking me what's in the cup, Diet Coke and Jack. Not today. I need water. I was up very late last night. I need something.
I could see you as a Diet Coke and Jack type of guy.
I'm a Diet Coke and Windsor.
Oh, okay.
Windsor and Diet. Central Florida, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 17-point favorite at home. Over under of 68 plus 660 on the money line. You got anything in this, Erik? Because I do.
I do. You know what, Jim? I'll let you go first.
Okay. So we talked about it. You talked about earlier how your favorite coach, Terry, he's undefeated against the spread. You know what else? Oklahoma is another team that's undefeated against the spread this year. They like beating up on these teams that don't have a great offense. I get that Rice Plumlee's coming back. But this is the kind of game Oklahoma has been dominating this year. I'm going to take Oklahoma minus the 17.
Jim.
Give it to me, Erik.
I took UCF plus 18 and plus 700 on the money line.
Wow.
To me, I have certain teams I think are bluffs. And I thought TCU was a bluff last year. I think Oklahoma is the same as TCU. They are just. You look at the SMU game, they should have lost that. You look at the Cincinnati game, they should have lost that. You look at the Texas game, they should have lost that. Outgained by 200 yards, 4 turnovers, in a goal line stand where the guy missed scoring by half an ass cheek. There is no way this team should be undefeated. Gus Malzahn off of a bye is 60% ATS. Now let's factor in math. UCF went to K-State and they got 6 points. Now you're giving me 18 against Oklahoma. In what world is there? It's a 12-point difference from Kent State to Oklahoma. Plumlee is coming back, which is going to help UCF. Oklahoma's ready for this huge turnover regression. We saw it last week with Louisville. Louisville has got every single break with the turnovers. And then against Pitt, it was just, what's the word I'm looking for? They just fell off a cliff.
Oh, yeah.
Sixes, fumbles. These things come in bursts. We saw it last year with the Eagles against the Commanders. Oklahoma's due for the rug to be pulling out, and I think this is the game coming off the big win against Texas, having a bye, 14 days of everyone telling him how effing good they are. Anthony hurt for Oklahoma, which is going to hurt their passing game. We've seen these new clock rules, these big numbers. Teams are struggling to run. I think UCF is going to lean on Harvey and Richardson being able to run the ball. UCF coming off the bye, getting QB1 back. They're going to shock the world, dude. Give it to me. Plus 18.
That would be hilarious.
Plus 700.
You want to know my prediction for Oklahoma?
What?
They make the playoffs and get boat raced by whoever they play.
I think
they go undefeated, but they make the playoffs and just get boat
I
raced.
think they're going to lose by 14 to Texas in the Big 12 championship game. There's been certain games this year that have been just complete bluffs.
They won't make it because Texas is still going to lose to Iowa State later this year.
Just a dick.
Mississippi State, Arkansas minus 6.5 at home, over under 47 plus 210 on the money line for Miss State. I wanted nothing to do with this, Erik.
No.
I'm going to be rooting for Arkansas for our boy, but no thank you. Memphis, UAB. Memphis minus 7 on the road, over under of 62 plus 230 on the money line for UAB. Anything with the dill? Again, the graphics department was lazy this week.
Yeah, dude. What's going on with the Are we going to have to put out a fucking...
No, it just means that I had like 12, 13-hour work weeks this week. Work days this week. So like the graphics department...
12-hour work week?
I had like a 13-hour day every day, and I traveled like an hour. So rough week for the graphics department. I'm going to be honest.
Respect.
I almost wanted to take UAB here, but I'm done. Charlotte, East Carolina, ECU minus 6.5 at home, over under 40 plus 210 on the money line for the Clit.
Nothing.
I thought about taking Charlotte here because ECU's been way worse than I anticipated this year, but I'm staying away.
I mean, one way of looking at it is who's ECU to be laying this many points?
That was my thought process. Maybe if it was like over a touchdown, I'd take it. Maybe. I don't guarantee anything there. ULM, Georgia Southern minus 16.5, over under 59.5, plus 545 on the money line. Before that, Bobby Thomas asked, does Trent have a job next year? I believe he does.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way.
For sure.
There's no way, yeah.
Anything in the ULM Georgia Southern game, Erik?
No.
I will say this. I think Georgia Southern's kind of an all or nothing team, so if you do like them minus like whatever, I would take them minus 16.5 if you liked them. But yeah. I think they give you everything, or they put up a performance like they did against JMU. It's one or the other. Yep. Akron, Bowling Green minus 7.5 at home against Akron, over under of 37 plus 250 on the money line for the Zips.
Their season's done with QB1 out for the year.
Yeah, after that, I'm done with Akron. They had the shot, they had the potential, and then
they should have beat Indiana.
Yeah. And it's just been nothing but downhill since. Which boy band song had the song All or Nothing?
Sadly, I know this one.
Who is it?
O-Town.
I like that.
Sadly, I know this.
I saw the pain in your eyes from that, Erik.
Sadly, I know this.
Pitt at Wake. It's a pick'em. It's a pick'em over under 45.5. Man, I want to take Wake here.
You know what, Jim? I took Wake here.
Okay.
Situational spot. Pitt coming off the big win off a ranked Louisville team. They have Notre Dame on deck. I had Pitt last week. We talked about it earlier. Louisville had more yards per play, more first downs, more passing yards, more rushing yards. But Louisville beat themselves because of the turnover regression. Wake bounce back spot coming off that big loss, that humiliating loss to Virginia Tech. Clausen, home favorite, home 57% ATS, home favorite. That number takes up to 59% ATS. Slight favorite because it's like -1 depending on the shop. I'll take Wake here. I got him at -115, just a straight up win.
I like that so much. I'll get behind this Wake team anytime. South Florida at UConn. USF -1 on the road. Over under 57 plus 102 on the money line for UConn.
How disappointed are you with UConn this year?
I don't think there's any planet where I could be more disappointed than you.
Yeah.
But I am extremely disappointed. I thought this team was at least going to be competitive in some of these like lower tier games. They've just been awful.
They've been embarrassed. They can't stop the run at all. Like, I thought they're going to take a big step forward, but obviously they didn't. They've regressed a little bit, and they can't stop the run. And yeah, I don't think we have to worry about Moore leaving for a job at the next level.
I don't think so. Bossa Boy 83 asks, I need to know, do my Canes get back in the win column today? We will get there. Up next, though, is Oklahoma State at West Virginia. West Virginia -3 at home, over under 48, plus 125 on the money line for Oklahoma State.
I really want to take Oklahoma State here. I think they've kind of figured it out, and who is West Virginia to be laying points.
Yeah, especially if this was any... I want to take Oklahoma State here as well. I'm not going to bet it because weird shit happens up in those mountains, Erik.
Weird shit?
Yeah, nothing but weird shit happens in the West Virginia. Central Michigan, Ball State, CMU -5.5 on the road, over under 40.5, plus 185 on the money line for Ball State. So, this is what I'm talking about. If this was on a Tuesday night in an early or mid-November, I'm all over Ball State here.
Oh, 100%.
But in this scenario, I cannot. I cannot bring myself. I will believe in our chips. Buffalo, Kent State. Buffalo -6.5 on the road, over under 43, plus 210 on the money line for Kent State. Another one where I would be, yeah. But no, not this time.
Agreed.
Wisconsin, Illinois. Wisconsin is laying 3 on the road, over under 40.5, plus 140 on the money line.
Whoa. This got up to 3?
Yeah, it's 3.
Jimbo.
Our friends, hey, talk to Dave, Erik. It's at 3. Are you on Illinois if it's at 3?
I am on Illinois at 3.
I think so. I think I am too. It wasn't 3 earlier when I was writing my picks.
At 3, dude. I didn't when I was doing my notes. This is at 2.5. Wisconsin. This air raid offense has looked, excuse my language, dog shit.
Erik, please call it by its true name. It's the Dairy Raid.
The Dairy Raid. The Dairy Raid has looked pitiful. They looked better. By they, I mean Illinois looked better running the ball. I kind of like their running game. And Wisconsin's got Ohio State on deck. This is just a pure situational spot fade for me going against Wisconsin. I'll take Illinois here plus the 3.
I will as well. Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois. And IU is -12 at home, over under 43, plus 360 on the money line for our Eastern Michigan team. Anything in this one, Erik?
Nothing, my friend. I got nothing.
Well, I do, because 12 points is disrespectful to an Eastern Michigan team who could be competitive in these games. What do I do when I talk about Eastern Michigan? I take Chris Creighton as a dog, especially as a big dog. I will take Chris Creighton every time as a dog. I will usually fade him as a favorite. Give me Eastern Michigan plus the 12.
Damn, I love it. I love it.
God, I love him as a coach. Erik, I feel like he's your kind of coach too.
Yeah, but he's a lifer. He's not moving.
Oh, no, he's not going anywhere.
He's a lifer.
But I feel like he'd be your kind of guy.
Yeah.
The way you see him probably screaming his kids.
Oh, dude, any coach that will just scream in your face. I mean, now, yeah,
I've heard he does a good job of like motivating kids by being like, yeah, no one else wanted you. This is like who we are, and he gets people to really buy in.
that's my type of guy right there, man.
Minnesota at Iowa, the offensive game of the day. So I want this setup. So Erik, last week I had the best setup for college football. I had the Washington Oregon game on the top screen, and I had Iowa Wisconsin on the bottom screen. So I got the best of both worlds there. I want to
Okay.
do that again this week with Minnesota Iowa.
Okay.
Just because I want to see the disgusting nature that is Iowa football, and I love it. Iowa's -3.5 at home, over under 30.5, plus 155 on the money line. This total started at what, 35, 34?
Yeah, it's been dropping fast.
What do you got in this game, Erik?
Who is Iowa to be laying this many points? They have their backup quarterback in, and they should have lost to Michigan State. Minnesota is getting Tyler back. Why is that important? You look at the metrics. Iowa, for as stout everyone says their defense is, has struggled defending the run this year. I think this is going to be a heavy dose of the run game. The Greek missile put less pressure on him to make throws. Minnesota is coming off the bye. Why is that important? PJ Fleck as a dog off the bye. You rating impressed, dude?
Impress me.
86% against the number.
Woo!
I got Mini plus 3.5 and plus 150. I am with my boy Bobby here.
I'm on the opposite side of this one. Nothing I have seen in Minnesota this year has shown me any hope. I don't care if it's PJ Fleck. I don't care about anything. This Minnesota team has looked awful, especially on offense, this entire season. They have done nothing to prove to me that they're any way able to compete in this game. I don't know, man. I see like a bajillion picks.
I'm seeing 17-13 the Gophers.
To your credit, last year it was a 13-10 game. But I also think Minnesota last year was way better.
I think it's going to be funny if this game turns out to be like 42-38.
I feel like the world might implode.
Oh my God.
Bobby, it's disappointing me that I'm taking Iowa. Don't worry. I don't like it, but I'm gonna ride with it. Also, I will say, for Minnesota's credit, if they do win this, we don't have to worry about people trying to talk about Iowa in the playoffs.
They're going to be 11-1 and like be a laughing stock.
Yeah, but they'll still probably. I don't know who they'd end up playing in a bowl game, but it'd be hilarious. Washington State, Oregon -20 at home, over under 60, plus 775 for Wazoo on the money line.
All right. So there's two ways of thinking of this. Actually, there's only one way. I think Oregon comes out, hey, we got to blow everybody out to try to get back in the college football playoff talk because their coach is a moron and doesn't understand math. And
I like Dan Lanning.
He's a moron. He isn't. And the thing that pisses me off the most is you listen to some of these coaches and they go, yeah, I messed up. I should have done this. Him's like, oh yeah, we didn't execute. So instead of, he's just putting all the plays, all the everything. Hey, here's an idea. If you're going to go for it on fourth down, why the fuck are you rolling out the quarterback to one side of the field and limiting everything to one fucking side? Why aren't you taking, it's going to be a one possession game. A field goal is going to be key. Why not just take the 3 points at the end of the fucking game?
He did say he'd want that one back.
The guy is the most emotional, fired up coach, just making dumb fuck decisions.
He is he is the coach that like says he's with the analytics, but it's very much gut calls every time.
Yeah.
What do you think about that call at the end of the game to go for it? I liked the go for it. I didn't know if I liked the play call.
I mean, with the way Penix have been dicing up the defense, I like the call. I hated the play call, but I also feel offensively when they got the ball back, they were just playing for the field goal.
Yeah, I don't like playing for the field goal. Like if you're Dan Lanning and you want to be the aggressive guy all the time.
Yeah.
I got nothing in this game though. I almost took Oregon just because I think I read a stat somewhere that Dan Lanning and this Oregon team after a loss is usually a big bounce back spot.
Jimbo, you want to pull it up? You want to pull
Yeah,
up the old database real quick?
Sports Facts asked the question: does Brian Ferentz get fired if they finish 11-1 and don't finish averaging 25 points? I don't think so.
I think that'd be hilarious. I really want it to happen.
It would be very funny. I don't think he gets fired. I think maybe he should because he is disgusting. But
he is awful.
If he's gone, it's probably like Kirk is probably gone too, and you definitely don't want to lose Kirk.
All right, here we go. So we're going team.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Yeah, we're going Oregon, boom, and with Lenning as their coach, right?
Yeah, which is what? This is year 2?
Yeah. He's 11-4 against the spread.
Overall,
11-4. 11-4-1. Streaks, win-loss, only 2.
Wow, I guess he hasn't had that many losses.
Only 2.
Son of a bitch. Up next, though, Tennessee at Alabama. Alabama laying 9 at home, over under 47.5, plus 280 on the money line for the Volunteers. Any side in this one, Erik?
So here's my thing. So I talked to a couple of my scout friends.
I know Chase is on Tennessee, just for everyone wondering.
Milroe is getting some heavy praise from college football scouts right now with how he's looking. Milton can't throw the ball to save his life.
Nope.
Tennessee's defense has looked better. Saban is a petty motherfucker. Excuse my language. If I was going to bet this, I'd bet Alabama first half because I think they just come out.
I can see it too. The thing with, at least for me watching Alabama, is they seem to rely way too much on big plays.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's sustainable for this big of a number through the entire game. If this got over 10, I'd probably take Tennessee. Otherwise, for now, I'm just staying away.
Milton sucks. They lost their 2 best wide receivers and their best offensive linemen.
Yeah, but Arkansas covered the spread. They covered like a closer spread.
Arkansas has a NFL quarterback.
Right there. Chase calling it. Alabama goes down today.
Ooh.
He's on Tennessee money line.
Ooh, shooting a shot.
I wouldn't mind that. I'm rooting for it because it would knock Alabama out of this playoff race.
I will say this: if you think Bama's going to win, you got to take them at 1,600 right now to win it to the playoff.
Bobby Thomas, Bama huge.
Yeah.
Northwestern at Nebraska. Nebraska is laying 10.5, over under 40, plus 330 on the money line for Northwestern. I'm going to come out and say it. I'm betting this game. I'm not betting one of the sides. I don't know who Nebraska thinks we are to be laying 10.5 to anybody.
Oh, I know.
Let's make money. Got to take Northwestern here. I kind of agree with you. I almost want to take Northwestern. What I did take, I took under 41 in this game.
Yeah.
Don't love Nebraska's offense whatsoever. And I really do like Nebraska's defense.
Here's my thing. Did you see that thing with Matt Rule where he's just like, guys, what winners do is like they compete when they're down 28-0. We didn't compete against Michigan. Like, dude, you don't have like, I don't know. I'm not a Matt Rule guy, especially now since he doesn't have Phil Snow there with him. I would definitely take Northwestern here, and if you take Northwestern, you got to give a little
sprink.
On the
at 3:30. I mean, this game, aside from I believe last year, this game is usually also, no matter how good or bad one of these teams are, it's usually very competitive.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't hate the Northwestern play. Also, Nebraska, basically, this is probably a must-win if you want to make a bowl. There's a few chances left. There's like this. Michigan State is a chance. Maryland, maybe.
Maryland, big maybe.
Big, like, it's a big maybe. Like, Maryland's looked worse. It's not September anymore, so I'm the shine off of Maryland's done. But my only play in this one's under 41. Up next, South Carolina at Missouri. Missouri's minus 7.5 at home, over under 57.5, plus 240 on the money line for South Carolina. I wanted nothing for this game. I am going to be kind of rooting for Missouri because I think I have an over on their win total.
I got nothing.
But yeah, I got nothing. North Texas, Tulane. Tulane is minus 20.5. Over under is set at 63.5, plus 775 for North Texas.
Got nothing.
Let's say make some money. Is on the Gamecocks plus 7.5. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
What do you think about Rattler this year, by the way?
I think he still sucks.
I think he's looked better.
I think he's going to be the quarterback for the DC Defenders in 2 years.
You know what? I think that'd be a good look.
Yeah.
Toledo, Miami of Ohio. Toledo is minus 1.5 on the road, over under 47, plus 105 on the money line for Miami. I think it's safe to say right now, these are probably the two best looking teams in the MAC.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a sneaky good game. I think this is going to come down to whoever has the ball last. I think this is a good live betting opportunity where you're going to be able to get plus money on both sides. Just sit back, have your laptop open, live bet it. So you get over plus 130 on the money line for both. Make a little scratch.
There you go. I like that. Texas at Houston. Texas is minus 23.5 on the road, over under 60.5, plus 1150 on the money line for the Cougs.
Nothing. I'll tell you what. Somehow the emotions I felt in that Houston win 2 weeks ago when they were up and they gave away a touchdown on the 4th and 10. And then to have that fucking Hail Mary. I think I'm all out of betting Houston for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'm probably done on Houston too. Maybe in some tight games I'll bet against them, but I don't really want to pick them whatsoever. UTSA at FAU. UTSA is minus 2.5 on the road. Over under of 58, plus 125 on the money line for FAU. No, thank you.
So, we're talking about disappointing teams. UTSA has been very disappointing. Yeah. Huge disappointment. I got nothing in this game. Their defense is bad. USC gets a lot of flack. Who are they to be laying this many points with that D?
It's true. Hawaii at New Mexico. Hawaii's minus 2.5 on the road, over under 59, plus 120 on the money line for New Mexico.
To get my New Mexico over 3.5. This is a must win. I
don't know if they're going to get it, Erik. Hawaii's looked surprisingly way better than anticipated this year.
Oh, yeah, dude. That fun and gun run and shoot.
They should have won last week. I'm staying that they should have beat San Diego State. 4 turnovers is crazy.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not on anything in this one. Virginia at North Carolina. UNC minus 23.5, over under of 58. By the way, I hate the Lakers on New Mexico straight up. I do like fading Hawaii. Get off the island. That's fair. Yeah. Plus 1,000 on the money line for the Cavaliers of Virginia. Erik, anything in this game?
Nope.
No, me either. UNC, since getting the receiver back, has looked electric.
What was my win total on them? I think it was only 8.5.
On UNC?
Yeah, it was low.
I think I took it, so.
How many are they at right now? That's 6. I mean,
they're close. Alex in the chat saying fade UVA.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I know you had a future. I know we both had a future on them to make the ACC championship.
Yeah. I mean, they got Campbell coming up. I mean, don't
discount the Camels, baby.
The fighting Camels.
App State at ODU. App State minus 5.5 on the road, over under 55.5, plus 185 on the money line for Old Dominion.
Yeah, nothing.
Really, really thought about taking Old Dominion here.
Yeah.
Because App State, if this was a touchdown, I'd be all over Old Dominion. Alex saying had UVA under 3.5 wins for the
Right.
season. Not looking bad. That's not looking bad
looking
at
bad.
all. Texas Tech, BYU. Texas Tech is -3 on the road at BYU, over under a 51 plus 125 on the money line. Erik, anything for you in this one?
Nothing.
Erik, I can't quit this team. BYU money line. It's disgusting.
So-
I can't quit it.
I know, dude, but you quit Georgia State, Jim. And
I did quit Georgia State, but Georgia State is an easier quit.
I think BYU let you down more last year than Georgia State did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But I'm back in. I don't know. I got back in this year, and Georgia State's way better this year.
Yeah.
I'm back in. I'm just sprinkling a little bit on BYU money line. That's it. I think the home advantage is legit for them in the Big 12. I think that could be a difference maker against a team who's also been extremely disappointing based on what they wanted to be this year as Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah. Texas Tech. I mean, yeah, they just, what's the word I'm looking for? Ever since that Wyoming game, they just haven't looked right.
Exactly. That was just, it knocked them off their game. Colorado State.
Whoa. Brett Brigman just tweeted out, a source tells me that Zach Leiner will start today at quarterback for number 22 Air Force at Navy. Leiner left last week's win over Wyoming with a knee injury, and the coach said Tuesday he'd be out for a while.
Even if he plays, he's not 100%. Still like Navy there.
I know, but like, why is the coach saying he's going to? It just pisses me off.
Why would he say he's going to be out for a while?
And then he's out there playing.
Or are they just saying he's going to be out there playing and he's not really going to play? Like one of those things where they have him suit up, do the warm-ups, and then don't have him play at all?
But like, you have this guy, I've never heard of this guy either. Just a random thing someone sent me on Twitter. I mean, and his husband, father of 3 amazing kids, and sports editor for Air Force football, beat writer for the Gazette. So, I mean, like, this is a credible media member. Why would he tweet this out?
I don't know.
Unless he was actually told it.
Either way, I still like Navy. I'm still on
me
it.
too. Yeah.
Colorado State at UNLV. UNLV -7 at home. Over under of 61.5. Plus 225 on the money line for CSU. Erik.
Nothing. I'll tell you what. Shout out to CSU for getting that Hail Mary win against Boise. I want nothing in this game, though.
I also just like shouting out teams that are undefeated against the spread. UNLV, a sweet 6-0 against the spread.
Really?
Yeah. So there's 4 undefeated teams against the spread still. Oregon, Penn State, Oklahoma, and UNLV.
Let's do. What week are we in right now? Let's have a little fun on the
We're week 8.
So we're gonna go teams that are 7-0 ATS. Okay. ATS streak. All right, teams that are 7-0.
There's no teams that are 7-0 that I see.
What week? Well, what is their streak? What are they ATS?
So Oklahoma, Penn State, Oregon are all 6-0.
All right, so 6-0. My bad, Jimbo.
Have they had bye weeks yet?
Yeah, some of them have byes. So 6-0, and this is what their 7th game, right?
Yeah.
Game number. List view. All right.
I don't have a side in this game, just so everyone's aware.
So teams that are 6-0 in their 7th game, 12-6-1 ATS.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Teams that are favorite are 9-3.
They're up. Do I have to add UNLV?
Hey man, you can do what you want. I'm just reading you the facts.
I'm getting behind America. I'm doing it. Give me UNLV minus the 7. I'm doing it. I like to live a little dangerously. Utah State, San Jose State. SJSU -4 at home, over under 64.5, plus 160 on the money line for Utah State. No, thank you.
Nothing.
Coastal Carolina, Arkansas State. Coastal's -8.5 on the road, over under 59.5, plus 265 on the money line for Arkansas State, who have looked better these last couple weeks.
Yeah, they have. They got a quarterback.
They do. It's crazy that Butch Jones didn't see that before when he was crying on the sideline.
Just a Butch Jones hater, man.
No, you remember that? What was it, like the Oklahoma game? He was just there crying. He was crying. Sports Facts asks, when are you publishing your draft rankings, Erik?
Jesus.
I was going to say.
Draft, dude.
Not till after the season, at least.
Not until after the season. I'm not. Sorry, dude. I'm just me by myself. I don't have a crew of people underneath me where I can do stuff. It's just me by myself.
Oh, yeah. Let me talk to my graphics department. Let's talk to them and see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll get the graphics department on it.
If we can get some of them to do in the stats department. TCU at K-State. K-State -6.
Jim and I are taking applications for unpaid interns. So if you want to be an unpaid intern for Jim and I,
emphasis on unpaid.
Yeah, you can send us your resume and but we will tell you our bets before we tell anyone else our bets.
Yep, we'll tell you hey, I got a mega whale play later in the show, Erik. That's gonna knock. It's for VIPs only.
MVPs only.
Now MVPs. It's time. Yeah, I'll do the whole voice. Don't you worry. TCU K-State. K-State -6 at home. Over under 59.5. Plus 185 on the money line for the Horned Frogs.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing for me in this one. No, thank you. Mississippi at Auburn. Ole Miss is -6.5 on the road. Over under 55.5. Plus 200 on the money line for the Tigers. Nothing. Also, nothing for me.
No comment.
Game of the day, if you're into potential pregame fights. Michigan State. The Wolverines are -24.5 on the road in East Lansing, over under 46, plus 1,400 on the money line. I'll tell you this straight up. Chase is on the Spartans. And he's on a money line.
I took Michigan State plus 24.5, and I also took them at plus 1,200. Teams ranked in the top 5 this season with the new clock rules. You ready for this, Jimbo? Laying 21 points or more, 14% ATS. They just aren't covering these big numbers.
Especially Michigan. This entire year, they've just been terrible at covering these big numbers.
MSU has been a effing train wreck this year. But when you just look at the teams they've played versus the team Michigan has played, MSU is more battle tested. They've played a tougher schedule than Michigan has. This is MSU Super Bowl. Hauser looked better at quarterback than Kim did for Michigan State. Michigan State has been good this year running the football. Their defense has been good. If they can just get anything offensively, I think this could be a game. Harbaugh 2-6 ATS versus Michigan State, 1-4 when laying 10 points or more. You have all this off the field cheating stuff going on with Michigan. How is that going to affect everything? Now all these rumors are coming out that, look, he's done. He's leaving after this year to go to the NFL. Going to be really interesting to see what we get. I'm going to take Michigan State here plus the 24.5. I'm taking them at plus 1,200 to straight up win.
That's what Chase did as well. Now listen here. MVPs know that a -4,000 only really works in a parlay. Herb Phillips, what up, Herb, my man? I've got no side in this game. I would lean towards Michigan State plus the 24.5.
It's a robbery. It's way too many points.
It's way too many points. And I'll give Michigan credit. Like, since the Nebraska game, they're 3-0 against the spread right now because they've been blowing these teams out. Michigan has played nobody.
I mean,
nobody.
Just real quick, I'm pulling up their schedule right now.
They have a 2-team schedule against Penn State and Ohio State.
Oh, Jim has frozen. Just looking at. Did I freeze or did you freeze?
I don't know. You froze for me. Maybe I froze for you.
We froze for each other.
Double froze.
All right. So just looking at their schedule, boom. Eastern Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana. That's been their schedule.
It's the worst schedule in the country.
Flip side, you look at Michigan State's CMU, they played Washington, Maryland, Iowa. Rutgers. It's just a little bit more battle tested. This little Super Bowl. Hauser will look better after his game 2. So,
and you can't discount the emotions that are going to be in this game.
Yeah.
And how fired up Michigan State's going to be, and how like a pregame fight, like a fight before the game even starts, changes the atmosphere entirely.
And then remember, there is a fight in the hallway to the lockers last year.
And there's going to be a shitload of police this year. There'll probably be another fight. Duke, Florida State, FSU minus 14 at home, over under 49 plus 485 on the money line for Duke.
Nothing.
I had to stay away.
We don't know what's going on with Leonard.
Yeah.
So in this game,
even if he plays, he's not going to be 100%.
Even if he plays, I think this is Underville. Just because it's the best defense that FSU, namely Jordan Travis, is going to play against. They're great against the pass. Duke, even if Leonard plays, is going to run the ball, lead the clock. I would play the under here, but I did nothing in this game.
I will play the under. You know what? That's all it takes, Eric. It doesn't take much to convince me. Under 49. Let me add it to my slate. Up next, Army. LSU. LSU minus 32.5. Over under of 60. Eric, there's no money line posted for this one.
Tanking. We got to get Dave on the phone.
Yeah. I'm on Army here. Plus, I got him at plus 33. I don't trust in LSU's offense. Defense. I do trust their offense. I don't trust their defense to be able to stop Army. I don't care how bad Army has looked. I think this will be a game where LSU maybe gets the ball like 6 times.
Yeah.
And Army just bleeds the clock.
I agree. Who does LSU have on deck?
Let's take a look. Let's see. LSU on deck. Upcoming at Alabama.
Oh, so they have a bye and then Alabama.
Yeah, it's a bye and then at Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't hate it though. I don't hate it. Give me Army.
I like it.
Give it to me. Up next, Clemson at Miami. Clemson minus 3 on the road, over under 48.5. Plus 125 on the money line for the Canes.
You know what? Just for my boy Brando, he's a little under the weather. Boston Boy 83. Take your Canes here. Who is Clemson to be laying this many points?
I'm going to take Canes money line. I'm going to do it. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that. I also, just to go back to a game, I forgot a pick, and this is very unprofessional of me, but I forgot. In the K-State TCU game, Eric, I do have K-State's team total over 33.5.
I like it.
Utah, USC minus 7 at home, over under 52 plus 195 on the money line for Utah.
I'm interested. So, are we at the point of the season where we're like, hey, Rising's not coming back. He's probably going to just come back next year.
So I've listened to a couple podcasts this week, and it does sound like Rising. Everyone's saying he should just redshirt, like do a medical redshirt and come back next year.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to. To me, that makes the most sense.
To me too. Like I don't think not playing and going to the draft makes sense for him.
Yeah.
And obviously he's not. I don't think coming back in later this year when Utah's kind of like their season's basically done makes sense.
Yep.
So I would medical redshirt too.
Plus the defense will be a little bit better. I really don't think that Utah has the playmakers that they've had in years past. But on the flip side, who the fuck's USC to be laying this many points?
Mm-hmm.
How's that Diet Coke and Jack? I love that comment. Whoever posted that, I really think that's Diet Coke and Jack.
It's not. It is just water. I don't have Diet Coke in the house. What's up, Tether TV? Yeah, I don't trust this USC team to be laying points, but I don't know. I'm not going to touch this one. Georgia State, UL Lafayette. Lafayette's a minus 3.5 point favorite at home, over under of 61, plus 145 on the money line for Georgia State. Nothing for me in this one. I did include Georgia State in a round robin, though. A little spoiler alert. Nevada, San Diego State. San Diego State minus 11.5 at home, over under 48, plus 335 on the money line for Nevada.
Nothing.
Nope, nothing for me either. Jay Boone is taking Michigan minus 20.
Ooh. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Oh, also, I hate the Lakers. Good point. Georgia State let down fade after the Marshall win. They did have a bye week in between, though.
Yeah, that's true.
UCLA, Stanford. UCLA minus 17 on the road, over under 52, plus 640 on the money line for Stanford. Nope.
Yeah.
Arizona State at Washington. Washington minus 26.5, over under of 60. No money line posted.
I have a play on this one.
I also have a play in this one before that. I hate the Lakers. UCLA is way better than I thought. They're about as good as I thought they would be.
Dude, they hired that DC.
Their defense is great.
Fucking a phenomenal hire. I'm taking Arizona State here. I got it 27.5. Like
Same.
Just a situational fade of Washington. Arizona State can't play in a bowl game. This is basically their Super Bowl. They have looked better as the season has gone. I'm going to hate to sound like a broken record. If Oregon's coach wasn't a fucking moron, Oregon would have won that game.
They kicked that field goal at the first half. They win the game.
I think this is just a sleepy spot for Washington. I think Washington can be run onto. I really question if they're going to be able to stop the run. This is a lot of points, especially with the clock rule. And we've talked about it before. Teams laying 21 points or more that are in the top 5, 14% ATS this year because of the way the clock runs, and it just bleeds it. And you have a running team. Give me Arizona State here plus 27.5.
I was going to ask who they had on deck, but it's just Stanford.
Just Stanford.
Yeah, it's just Stanford that they have after Arizona State.
So let me ask you this.
Hey, you don't want to know the score last year at Arizona State?
Yeah.
38-45.
So let me ask you this. Travis Hunter got punked last week.
He looked real bad. On defense, he looked fine on offense. He looked good on offense.
But we've talked about, you can't have this kid run out there for so many goddamn plays. He's just going to be exhausted.
Oh, he'll be dead.
So they need to cut that back. Or that stuff's going to continue to happen. He was on the field for way too much.
He always is. This is FBS like Power 5 football. He's not going to be able to run. Like, you saw it. He looked fantastic early in the season. He looked otherworldly. And then it just catches up to you.
Yeah.
The injury, I'm sure, like, coming back from the injury has something to do with it. But, I say you can play him on you got to have to limit his snaps on defense.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Because I assume he's going to want to go to the NFL more as a receiver.
Yeah.
That's Erik. Any parlays or round robins for you this week?
Yeah, dude. It's filthy, my friend. It's filthy.
I got one too.
Let me pull it up here.
I'll give you mine.
All right, you can go first, my friend.
Okay. I'm taking Georgia State straight up. These are all straight up money lines. Georgia State, Eastern Michigan, Old Dominion, BYU. It's gross. Plus 6.769 on the parlay. A nice little round robin for you. Jay Boone, give me USC money line. Okay.
Mine is Penn State, Wake, Mini, and then my two big dogs, UCF and Michigan State.
Woof! Those are some big ones. I'm trying to look at. I was looking at some FCS stuff too. Erik, before we go though, I have to give you my teaser of the week.
Yeah,
Discuss
yeah,
my
yeah,
teaser
yeah.
of the week. Okay, let me lay it on you, Erik, before you say anything. Oh, Tether TV, by the way, is calling out your anti-OU bias, but he's also an OU fan.
Mm-hmm. Haters gonna hate it.
Here's my teaser for you, Erik. Rutgers, tease them down to a pick'em. Missouri, -1.5. Minnesota, Iowa, tease them up to under 36.5. Air Force, Navy, tease that up to 39.5.
Jesus.
Arkansas, -0.5. Basically a pick'em. Tease OU down to 11.5. And tease Ole Miss to -0.5 point. Erik, are you telling me that Oklahoma's going to kill that one?
Oklahoma's gonna kill that one.
Okay. We'll see. Erik, it's been very unlucky these last few weeks because I've had one team destroy my teaser every week. It's been just one team. It's brutal.
It's gonna be the Sooners this week.
We'll see. We'll see. Any parting words for this great slate of college football?
Should be a loaded day. Let's go green.
Let's do it. Jay Boone is taking Arizona State on the money line, by the way, plus 1,600.
I like it. I like it.
Let's go, everybody. We'll see you again next week for another episode of the College Football Tailgate. Later, everybody.